you know, you're going to see the proverbial Agent Smith doctrine take place in this new Matrix administration. You're going to see people who you think is down with you because their color is melanated turn right into Agent Smith because Americans are programmed to be programmable. They conform to the programs. Their systems are updating.
They're conforming right now.
Right now.
Right. To the Trump shit.
Like the Matrix. And it's important, especially nowadays, stories like that are able to be told on a global scale where people could be privy to the art of or the power of transformation. Because what's taking place as a result of these, I would say, draconian, you know, mandates, laws, policies, these de facto, you know, operatives, they are taking away the value. They're removing the value. Look at yourself as a stock. One day my birth certificate, I'm a stock. I'm a stock. But then the next day we don't understand that you're a stock. And then it's about your stock. Meaning your stock, like I've been saying, it's genetics. What you saw last night was what the ISIS papers told you. It's genetics. You understand? The fear of a black Amor Messiah, the fear of the browning of America. You understand? Meaning that it was a reminder of what? The Dark Ages. Is this not reminiscent of a time of a law? Remember when we were vassals? Remember when we felt the encroachment of the Spanish monarchs in their empire as they began to get emboldened and then they went into crusade mode?
This crusade, this war on terrorism is going to take a while. And the American people must be patient. I'm going to be patient.
And then they went into Inquisition mode?
Somebody needs to put these people, all of these people, Chris Cuomo, we need to start putting them into the robes of the Inquisition. That's the way we need to start looking at these people, because these people, this is the Inquisition, gang. You think that there isn't a Christian Holocaust coming?
And then they went into Reconquista mode? So keep in mind, like I've been saying, it's all relative. Okay? It's all relative. So we have to be able to see the light that's inside of one another.
Absolutely.
Those who are amongst us for a reason. Those who come into our cipher or our lives. You dig what I'm saying? What purpose do they serve? Although you might not see it as the moment, even if they're the antagonist in the story and you're the protagonist, are you utilizing that friction in order to charge yourself and do something? Are you just sitting around, you know, wasting time and energy and space? So what does the adversity do? Adversity allows, you know, niggas to see how much weight they could push. You know what I mean?
Right.
You're able to test yourself. You're able to test yourself. One thing that the Olympics showed us, you know, recently, if we pay attention and we're not caught up in judging, or we're not caught up in if this person is not down with my speaker, teacher, leader, I don't like him, stupid shit, like you got choices. They just look at it for what it is, part of our gene pool. They showed you strength in adversity, right? It showed you that.
We was the original Olympians anyway.
There you go. So when you see that gene begin to wake up to the place where it's undeniable, okay, it couldn't be coincidence. It went beyond coincidence. All of the melanated Moabites, Moabitists, was snatching golds this, right? That was something that is indicative of this gene that's waking up in us.
The God
you know
gene.
What I'm saying? The fact that we're beginning to turn on and go online, and you have you're posing threats. These people study. These people are, you know, charting the stars and all of these other things. They're waiting for they're looking for markers. These are evangelical Christians whose purpose, along with other groups of imposters, is to perpetuate what? The movie, the story. That's a script that they're following. They're following a script. Everybody's on board.
Absolutely.
They play the antagonist and the protagonist. You say, oh, it's the Illuminati, they sold out. I'm saying that they work off of the law of duality. They're following certain kind of laws. You were exposed to the inner workings of their inner circles. Surface.
Hillary Clinton is
Yes,
right.
that's
We are
exactly
stronger
what
together,
Hillary
but we
Clinton
are
says.
stronger without
And
Hillary Clinton. We can never be together as long as we have a divider-in-chief in our president, Barack Obama, supporting this woman who's got the FBI crawling all over her. I think that's more important than trying to link Donald Trump to the KKK. How about she's under federal investigation? How about this spirit cooking we're watching in the WikiLeaks? How about this child sex trafficking rings we're reading about in WikiLeaks? That's far more important
Thank
as to Mrs. Clinton than the KKK.
Theories is not what we need in the last
she's
48
a closet
hours.
racist.
We're going to have
Closet
so
racist.
much
But we
time
know
for
she's
both
out.
of you over the next
She's
week.
out the closet now.
Okay, Brunel, we got to go. Thank you so much, ladies, for joining us.
During the motherfucking surface, nigga. Because she really got away with mad other emails. How about that? This is the shit that they fished.
Let me see if I can put that in South Carolina terms that I can understand. If she said that you already had 90 to 95% of her emails before she ever returned them, that ain't true.
Sir, if I may say this, unless she's talking about the files that were sent to other individuals within the State Department, sent to their state.gov account.
Well, how does that capture personal-to-personal emails? And how about the 14,000 that she didn't turn over? Did you have those?
Again, sir, what you're talking about here.
Oh, I understand her position.
Yes, sir.
The fact that I didn't keep them doesn't mean that whoever I sent it to didn't keep it. I get that. What if it's private to private? How are you supposed to have Sidney Blumenthal's emails if it's private account to private account? How do you have that?
This is what they were able to fish up. They scratched the surface. Accusations came and niggas didn't go digging.
How about this spirit cooking we're watching in the WikiLeaks? How about this child sex trafficking rings we're reading about in WikiLeaks?
No Tomb Raider, no investigations. Niggas didn't pierce into that. Like how them niggas will shovel into your shit.
Right. Yeah.
How they'll sentinel your shit. Go right through it.
Yeah.
Nobody went all the way in, so you just got the surface.
Just the surface.
It's just the surface is dealing with sex rituals.
How about this spirit cooking we're watching in the WikiLeaks? How about this child sex trafficking rings we're reading about in WikiLeaks?
A cult, like I said, I told, yeah, this is my I told you moment. I told you something. That's
Real
what they
talk.
on.
So
you're dealing with the rim. You're dealing with how did they win the war against the Moors?
is that one me right there?
Huh?
Is that one me right there? Or you already put me in the bag.
Oh damn.
Yeah. Good looking. What for?
So yeah, that's what they doing. They are tapping into everything that they tapped into, you know, throughout history in order to remain in a not just in a dominant place, but in a conquering. You know what I mean?
Right.
There's a memo floating around that speaks about the perpetual war. It leaked, or rather, they leaked it, and it speaks about a perpetual war that's being planned. And, you know, it's being not only planned, but it's being forecasted by people in high places, such as the, I believe it's the NSA, and some another organization. Don't quote me exactly, but it's coming out of the top administrations. And, the Pentagon. Yeah, it's the Pentagon.
Got you.
So,
got you.
Think Rio, 2016. You saw what you did you realize what you were seeing everybody was enjoying the Olympics and celebrating the celebration. You know what I mean? And right behind them was the favelas.
Geographically just a stone's throw away, the poverty entrenched in the city's infamous favelas is half a world away in terms of lifestyle.
These are the favelas that Games organisers don't want the world to see. Just days out from the opening ceremony, and they're in the process of demolishing hundreds of these homes that quite literally back onto the main Olympic site. That's it that you'll make out in the distance over there. But it's what's in the foreground that is the real concern for organisers. Favelas like this, their fear is that they will become an embarrassing blight on the landscape as the eyes of the world focus in on Rio.
Nearly 1,000 people here in Villa Autodromo have had to pack up their modest belongings and move out because of these forced evictions. Walk through this demolition zone and you see remnants of the shattered lives. Maria de Pena is another whose humble home is set to go.
Is it fair that they're bulldozing everyone's houses around here?
No, it's not fair because everyone has the right to have a home. It doesn't matter if they are rich or poor.
Ligia Batista is from Amnesty International.
The municipality authorities were pretty aggressive with the families. They didn't show anything that could really prove that it was necessary for these evictions to take place. So we think it is unfair.
By the Brazilian government's own modest estimates, the total number of people from various favelas to be forcibly removed from their homes is now approaching 20,000. It goes some way to explaining why the Olympics are proving to be so unpopular here in Rio de Janeiro. The most recent poll found that 2 out of 3 Brazilians believe hosting the Games will do the country more harm than good.
They should feel special about being Brazilian, about the Olympics, but actually those families, I believe that they don't like the Olympics anymore. The spirit of the Olympics is not anywhere in here.
Think Rio 2016. You saw did you realize what you were seeing? Everybody was enjoying the Olympics and celebrating the celebration. You know what I mean? And right behind them was the favelas with wild suffering, all kind of Hunger Games taking place, all kind of, you know what I mean? It's just a total opposite. And everybody was cool with that.
Right.
They still was managed to make that shit look cool. You know what I mean? So they're planning an urban war that is gonna last about 100 years.
Word.
Called the War of the Slums.
Hey,
globally, not just in your hood, my nigga.
Right.
Globally. So I see the trappings, and I definitely see the groundwork, and I definitely see how it's being played out. Brexit. The Brexit role, Russia's role, Syria. So biblically, what do they say about Damascus in the Bible and Syria? How does that tie into their messianic? Okay, their messianic doctrine.
Right.
Because everybody has one.
Absolutely.
What the fuck? How does your shit look like? Like, where you at in the race, brother?
Right.
It's a race.
Absolutely.
And they're racing. And they going full speed because it's not how you start the race. It's how you finish it.
It's how you finish it. Well
Niggas
said.
need to get out the past.
No doubt.
You know what I'm saying?
Now let me ask you this. That same thing you was talking about, this perpetual war that's playing. What do you think? Now I know you said that, you know, whether it was Hillary or Trump, these are two different wings of the same bird, right? I kind of see it like this. If Hillary would have got in, the war would have still been on because we've been in the war. But I think with Trump, me personally, I think with Trump, it's going to be more of an in your face, this is what time it is.
At the age of 12 years old, I shot myself. I was in the house. Police knocked on the door. I was right there. They knocked the door down. Everybody jumped over my body to go get the guns and drugs and whatever they could find. It took one guy to stop right there and cuss everybody that hopped over me out. Like, what the fuck are y'all doing? They said, oh, no, we was going to see if it, what the fuck are y'all doing? We called the ambulance. An ambulance, do you not see this kid on the floor with this hole in his chest? Say, you drive. Pick me up. Brought me to the hospital. He didn't drop me off at the ambulance and say, you take him. He brought me to the hospital room and made two and stood there and waited till the doctor said he's gonna make it. He said, don't worry, my name's Uncle Bob. He was white as snow. The that hopped over me was blacker than me.
Was he a cop?
Yeah, he was a cop, and my life was saved by a white man. I don't know what racism is. I know a good named Uncle Bob, though.
But I think with Trump, me personally, I think with Trump, it's going to be more of an in-your-face, this is what time it is.
What's up, buddy?
Oh, now I'm a buddy.
Hey, Trump all the way. Trump.
Hey,
check this out.
A minute ago.
Hey, check it out.
Now I'm a buddy.
No, I got you. Because black lives don't matter. There ain't no proof. Just because you say something don't mean nothing.
Wow.
Prove it.
I appreciate.
Hey, check it out. If black lives matter, hey, I'm talking for you. I appreciate it. I gladly appreciate it, sir.
Yeah,
glad.
So black lives don't matter because you got a problem in traffic.
No, black lives don't matter. No, the problem in traffic was you were right behind me, sped up and drove around me, jumped in front of me and made me slam on my brakes at a light. That makes you a nigger.
Oh,
that proves, check it out, that proves that black lives don't matter. Hey, no. If you have a side, if you have a subject, you tell me why black lives matter. Because people say so? You tell me why, how. You know what matter means? Is something that makes a difference. And let me tell you something. Check it out. Martin Luther King.
Black lives didn't matter. Black lives didn't matter.
Hey, Martin Luther King died for a purpose. And you know what? You need to watch the very first episode of Boondocks because he walks around ashamed of the people with the flat bill hats like you and the people that can't even keep their pants up.
Really?
Yeah, put it on Facebook. I don't care. I don't care. Look at me. You're a punk that lives off social media. I don't even have a social media account. You know why? Because white lives matter.
Do that. I appreciate you sharing me your life story, sir.
What life story? Hey, let me handle this. Be a woman. What was my life history? Was there anything of anybody's past? Or are you just another nigger that doesn't understand anything?
Apparently you teach me about
I'll teach you anything. I'll teach you anything.
Teach me a little bit more about black people.
Black people were bought by a contract and we got ripped off because y'all should have got returned when there was evidence and proof that y'all couldn't do anything. So because y'all live off welfare. No. Let me answer your question, nigga.
You already know what time it is.
That's why I prefer him because he
you know what I mean?
This is the sickness.
He letting them know.
In our people.
Yeah.
Niggas is already in your face.
Right.
And you can't take those hits.
Yeah.
Stop that shit.
Right.
At least it's gonna be in our face. Yeah. Really, my nigga?
I don't know what racism is.
You couldn't take the regular, they was back smacking niggas. Like, they been washing you, hold on. Niggas couldn't swim in that tsunami. So why they are inviting shit? That's the spirit of defeatism. They have called a population of their prisoners or their vassals to a point where it's time to move in. These niggas are slaughterhouse. This shit is this is their mentality. Sociopathic. They're able to deal with that shit by dealing with the animals.
You fucking piece of fucking... Fucking get that shit. You Fuck you, Bruce Lee. Okay, well, so he's prepared to go to more trouble to not do it. And that's why I got on him as hard as I did.
Yo, this is their mentality. Sociopathic. They're able to deal with that shit by dealing with the animals.
Okay, you want to fucking go on the ring curb? Okay, so I want to drive his head towards you. So that's what we do.
All right, enough.
Because I like hitting him in the face, and the paws would get the paws off the and with the beauty of the paws being on the rock, when you hit them, it's like a vice.
Yeah.
Right? So it doesn't do that, it does that. It stings more. Sit. But here's the problem at the end of the day. If we had been running a videotape the whole time we were here, and we did a 45-second montage of the times I struck this animal, PETA would burn this place to the ground.
Yo, this is their mentality. Sociopathic. They're able to deal with that shit by dealing with the animals. You know what I mean? They're able to satisfy that bloodlust by being hunter-gatherers and gamers.
Right.
So they're gaming in all realms. They've drawn the niggas like a video game. They're in a video game realm killing up shit. They're in a gaming realm hunting all kind of shit. These niggas are gonna go on GOP hunting shits with Trump's son, but it's gonna be niggas getting hunted. Facts, I tell you. When I look at Pence and Trump, I'm looking at the Führers. I see it. Them niggas is just, this is the uniform that they wearing now. Wait till you see what they gonna, yo, I'm telling you. I would be in an illusion if I were to say I don't see what I'm seeing.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
I know what the fuck I'm seeing.
Absolutely.
Birth of a Nation was their movie. I'm about to. That was their movie.
Right.
Don't get it fucked up. Yeah, he's the new one. The new one. They named it Birth of a Nation. It benefited white people, or the Europeans, or the Pilgrims, or whoever, because what did it do? It reinforced and reinvigorated and retold them, if any of these niggas get out of line, this is how you do them. When you look at the script on how it played out, the young Morisco, the little Moor, sold him out. Then at the end of the movie, he was leading in the Civil War. Meaning that the same person who's dishonorable to his own, he gave his own up, he was fighting for the cause. Then that scene where they showed all of those people hanging from the trees, that was the illest one, right? That was a spell.
Strange fruit.
That wasn't rendition. That wasn't redemption at all. They showed Nat and them get a little busy, and after that, it was just them washing them all up. How they was lining up, and he just walks into the place. So, whenever they put the slave movies out, they're being seen from two different perspectives. The law of duality kicks right in. There's the slave perspective and there's the slave master's perspective. A pilgrim would never go to a slave movie and ever watch it from the perspective of a slave, even with them being Slavs.
Right.
Because that's not what's being shown. They're reinforcing, re-embossing chattel slavery. But there's already slavery that exists that they're all invested in, and that's the private prison complex industry. 13th Amendment, the documentary showed you that is legal slavery. Then it makes sense how they all playing the game. Then it makes sense why the stocks went up last night. All right? So it's too many useless eaters. That you got to step over too many people. The regentrifiers is like, yo, get these niggas off the block. You know what I mean? And, out of the world, so they will start a war. They'll send a group of them. They'll send a group of your finest. Get them out. Get the cream of the crops out of them. Get them over there where they'll be set up. Deal with the undesirables. Remember, the president of the Philippines has death squads going around his country killing drug dealers. He put the hit out and fell back. And they have a silent death. They have citizens, vigilantes, killing off what they deem as the undesirables. while he's restructuring his country. You feel what I'm saying?
Like this.
And he's telling the U.S., you know, but you don't know in this theater. Because as they were moving certain chess pieces, they were definitely moving other ones. It was a ritual on a grand scale. None of the quote unquote familiar players were not playing in this game. Everybody had a hand in it. You feel what I'm saying?
So you're referring to the movie now that you was talking about. So that's what you think they want us to do now. They doing all this stuff so we can just go out buck wild, so they can just come in and do whatever they want.
What they need to do, and as you can see, they are more of the instigators than you are. Is they need to start what is known as a race conflict. They need you to separate from races. They need your hip-hop influence that's over their children and their daughters and their uncles and everything. They need to break that away.
Hey, I'm Dina. Look at my feet. My feet are straight ahead. You don't want to do that. You want to turn your feet out. And I'm going to do this backwards. And that's what makes it look like hip-hop. What this is with hip-hop is everything's down low. It all is in a plie. I think the first thing that you need to know about hip-hop, it's all about your posture. And you know, growing up, my posture was really bad. My mom used to tell me all the time, stand up straight, stand up straight. Well, you know what? I was standing up straight. And hip-hop is this. 1, 2, 3, 4, hit, and The more relaxed you are, that's what makes it hip-hop. This is the first thing I'm going to say to you. You want to do hip-hop? You got to stand like this.
They need your hip-hop influence that's over their children and their daughters and their uncles and everything. They need to break that away.
In a hip-hop head, we have this. Boom, bam, every time. Or Your hands are always like this. Start out just hitting it, hitting it, hitting it. This is what we call popping. Straight. Straight. I went to this club, right? And they had no baggy pants and no sneakers. That was wild. I didn't know what to think about that.
They need your hip-hop influence that's over their children and their daughters and their uncles and everything. They need to break that away.
I took some of this from an African piece. I took some of this from an African piece. I took some of this from an African piece. In the African piece, it was like this, but in hip-hop, it's like this. See, there's a difference. This is me. This is how I am. This is a lifestyle. This is it.
They need to cause a wedge in between that so they'll focus on what it is that they can focus on the most, and that's inferiority versus superiority based off of their systems that they have constructed and created to push that thing. And if you're inside of that matrix, shit, they're like, we got 98% of you. Who cares? Who the hell cares about you smart Negroes? You know what I mean?
Right.
Who cares? We got the rest of them. So that's what's taking place. You know what I mean?
Real talk.
On levels that, you know, you're going to see the proverbial Agent Smith doctrine take place in this new Matrix administration. You're going to see people who you think is down with you because their color is melanated turn right into Agent Smith because Americans are programmed to be programmable. They conform to the programs. Their systems are updating.
They're conforming right now.
Right now.
To the Trump shit.
Like the Matrix, them niggas is fitting that shit. And whoever he point at in his next speech, or the one after that, whoever he points at, the Pokemon, whoever he puts on that Pokemon capture screen, that's who they gonna go for. So whenever you want to study this, study brown shirts. early Nazi Germany. Remember, it's a buildup, it's a rollout. Okay? Study that. Because he had the whole niggas in red hats. They said we're red. They went so hard on the blood moon shit, the whole country red.
What are we doing to keep this election from being stolen? What can we do to prevent election fraud? I propose that all Donald Trump supporters wear red on Election Day. On November 8th, when you head to the polls to vote Donald Trump, be decked out in red. This way, just as we dominated in rally turnout, we can prove and provide the optics that we also dominated in voter turnout. Wear red on Election Day and make America great again.
They went so hard on the blood moon shit, the whole country red. Right. And I'm red pillar, so I know what's going on. Blood, this shit bloody. He's a Gemini. It don't matter. Gemini, Scorpio, it's still pick a crow or pick a vulture, nigga. Like, what you want? So all I'm saying is this, because I know I hope nobody already, took themselves off the fucking planet by now. Don't get scared.
Yeah.
Going back to adversity, going back to the fact that, yes, if we woke up in a Hillary's world, a Hillary administration, it would still be okie-dory, you know what I mean? People would have been lulled further to sleep. There would have been some opiates being passed around. Some of our sisters would have assumed the role of president everywhere that they go. And that's a beautiful thing. We want them to assert themselves. But then they probably would have been tied into this lady as if she's one of them. Okay, she procreated and had a little lizard. She's a grown lizard, so she's part of the genus of things that can procreate. She's not like you, sister.
Right.
And
she's DAR.
And she's DAR, and they all together. And then the shit came out where they are related. So he is. Once I saw that article, and then when the AI, who didn't get any presidents wrong, was hitting him. Two of them hit him on the head. Bing, bing. I was like, oh, nah, they're going in. Think Antichrist. Okay, go into your scriptures. Think Antichrist, think Revelations, think Damascus, think World War III, think the bear, think the eagle, think it all. Because evangelical Christians and the Khazars and Ashkenazi Zionists, the protocols, along with the coon preachers who are down with the program, along with the Roman Catholic Church, are they're carrying out the story. I didn't see Tom Hanks in the movie, but I know that they were taking it there. Yeah, Infernum, they were taking it there.
They're not only going to tell you certain about these movies, they ain't going to never let you know the skin color you want. They're going to make it all white.
As the Moors rise up, as the Moors make themselves known, as the Moors begin to put the pressure, on the corporation, and demand that they begin to acquiesce to treaties and things of that nature that they sign and they are, responsible, they're bound to. You see Standing Rock play out, right? You see the conflict at Standing Rock play out. It's all theater. It's all a story. It's all telling you a story. You saw Oregon with the Bundys play out too.
The board acquittal is a blow to government prosecutors who tried to argue the Bundys and 5 of their followers conspired to use force and threats of violence to take over the Malheur National Wildlife Refuge back in January. For the other side, the defense and their supporters, it's a huge sigh of relief and elation, but some have yet to be set free.
They get to go home. They get to go home to their children. I know. It's divine. We won, right? I feel awesome. People still care about our country. People still care about the Constitution and upholding the Constitution.
Defending the Constitution was always the driving force, according to leader Ammon Bundy, who argued the armed occupation was spontaneous. He told me in January he came to Harney County to restore rights to ranchers, rights he believed were stripped by government overreach.
We wouldn't sacrifice our lives, we wouldn't sacrifice being away from our children, being away from our families, being away from our businesses, if we did not feel that we were going to make a difference here.
But their presence at the Malheur National Wildlife Refuge, with heavy arms and no plans to leave, it gave some community members and the federal government a different view. Bundy, his brother Ryan, and 5 followers faced a charge of conspiring to use intimidation, threats, or force to keep federal employees from working during the 41-day occupation. To this charge, the jury says not guilty. The Bundys, Jeff Banta and David Fry, also faced a weapons charge linked with carrying out the conspiracy. Again, not guilty. Outside the courtroom in Portland, Oregon, supporters and media waited to hear from the freed defendants, like Shauna Cox.
We have to say we are so grateful for the Patriots and for those jurors who spent their time and we know it's a great sacrifice, and we're so grateful, and we're in tears because we were so happy that they heard the truth and they weren't intimidated enough.
But not everyone could walk out. The Bundys remain behind bars. They will go on trial in Nevada early next year for their role in a 2014 standoff at their father Cliven Bundy's ranch. There was an outburst in the court after the acquittal when Ammon Bundy's attorney demanded his client be immediately released, yelling at the judge. U.S. Marshals tackled Marcus Mumford to the ground, even as the judge was telling them to back off. They tased him inside the court and arrested him for failure to comply. He has been released. Now, this is not the end of the Oregon standoff. 7 more occupiers are still waiting to stand trial. We'll see how this acquittal affects their case. Manila?
All right, thank you so much for that update. That's RT correspondent Simone Del Rosario.
That was an armed resistance. That's not what Standing Rock is. Standing Rock is a protest on sacred tribal ground, just a word. And it's an argument over a contract.
And a part of a process of a veteran, a warrior, is learning how to make peace with himself. That's one of the most important things moving on in life. But to be amongst all these beautiful people, these veterans that came out for the call, when the call went out, was profound. And to see them here and just to be a part of this movement it's very emotional for me.
And let's keep it real for a second. There's a very rare time in life Native Americans will see white folk on the ground kneeling, begging for forgiveness. That doesn't happen. It's usually the white folk asking black people, Native Americans, you should apologize to me. You're the scum of the earth. What's it like? Not so much that they're white. Not so much that they're white. Not so much that they're white, but to see, all the sacrifice, all the theft, all the murder that has been perpetrated against your people. To see, in many ways, the people who perpetrated it, not specifically these people in that room, but our ancestors, to kneel down in front of you.
I believe that for people to do that, they truly feel and hear the truth of what has happened in this country and the atrocities that happen in this country. And people to do that, like I said, it takes true courage. That's a true warrior doing that for his ancestors, to make it right here in this life for his generation to come, or he or she's children generation to come, and to hold forth that oath to this great nation, and to hold forth that oath to this great nation, and to hold forth that oath to this great nation. And it's very humbling to see.
Over a treaty and a contract, right. But that's not what the Bundys was doing.
Right.
And nobody enforced the law. Mm-hmm. That's what the problem is. It's not the fact that you want the Romans to punish Romans. It's that y'all not forcing the law.
Right.
You ain't going mufti on them. Hold on, I'm making citizens arrest.
Right. Yeah.
You know, if I'm a melanated Moor or Moabite officer in law enforcement in any of the surrounding counties, you take it, you become the sheriff on some Denzel.
Right. Well, it was originally and still is a Moorish title. Okay. Sharif. So sheriff.
Who but the sheriffs and the sheriffs now? I ain't talking about, because remember, nothing has anything to do but the now.
Yes, yeah.
Don't talk to me about yesterday. That's part of your documentary. That's the only place that shit goes, or in your memoirs. It's about now. So that Moors and other people, because I'm telling you, I know niggas is trying to put their feathers on eBay. Okay? I already know it.
Why? Because Trump
So
is
these
up?
these numbers that all of these organizations have, it's time for the nation to rise. It's time for the temple to rise. It's time for all of these nations. There's no excuse, not out of fear, but out of seeing your signs. You niggas don't see the sign.
Right.
I gotta help you with that too.
Right.
Huh?
Right. Yeah.
I got like 4 occupations when it come to you. Niggas just psychiatrist.
Right.
I'm your doctor. I'm your motivationist. And I'm also nursery care. I'm walking you. Nah.
Right.
We should be able to see the signs. So the signs call for but unity or die. That's what the signs call for. Unity or die.
That's the bottom line.
All right.
Man, that's real talk, Pill. I think that was a well-rounded double dosage of the pills. Cool.
You see this?
Yeah.
You're gonna see these empty bottles a lot.
Yeah.
Ocean14corp.com is where you get 7 Heaven Sea Moss. All right?
Got you. That's
Peace, love, and
peace.
light, y'all.
Peace and love, man.
This is the Inquisition, gang. You think that there isn't a Christian Holocaust coming?
And then it went into Reconquista mode.
Yes.
So keep in mind, like I've been saying, it's all relative. Okay? It's all relative. So we have to be able to see the light that's inside of one another.
Absolutely.
Those who are amongst us for a reason.
Yeah.
Those who come into our cipher or our lives. You dig what I'm saying? What purpose do they serve? Although you might not see it as the moment, even if they're the antagonist in the story and you're the protagonist, are you utilizing that friction in order to charge yourself and do something? Are you just sitting around, wasting time and energy and space? Right. So what does the adversity do? Adversity allows, niggas to see how much weight they could push. You know what I mean?
Right.
You're able to test yourself. You're able to test yourself. One thing that the Olympics showed us, recently, if we pay attention and we're not caught up in judging other things, they're looking for markers. These are evangelical Christians whose purpose, along with other groups of imposters, is to perpetuate what? The movie, the story. That's a script that they're following. They're following a script. Everybody's on board. Absolutely. They play the antagonist and the protagonist. You say, oh, it's the Illuminati, they sold out. I'm saying that they work off of the law of duality. They're following certain kind of laws. You were exposed to the inner workings of their inner circles. Surface.
Hillary Clinton is right. We are stronger together, but we are stronger without Hillary Clinton. We can never be together as long as we have a divider-in-chief in our president, Barack Obama, supporting this woman who's got the FBI crawling all over her. I think that's more important than trying to link Donald Trump to the KKK. How about she's under federal investigation? How about this spirit cooking we're watching in the WikiLeaks? How about this child sex trafficking rings we're reading about in WikiLeaks? That's far more important as to Mrs. Clinton than the KKK.
One day my birth certificate, I'ma stop. But then the next day we don't understand that you're a stock. Right. And then it's about your stock. Meaning your stock, like I've been saying, it's genetics.
Yeah.
What you saw last night was what the ISIS papers told you. It's genetics. You understand? The fear of a black Amor Messiah, the fear of the browning of America. You understand? Meaning that it was a reminder of what? The Dark Ages. Is this not reminiscent of a time of a law? Remember when we were vassals? Remember when we felt the encroachment of the Spanish monarchs and their empire as they began to get emboldened, and then they went into crusade mode?
This crusade, this war on terrorism, is going to take a while. And the American people must be patient. I'm going to be patient.
And then they went into Inquisition mode.
Yep.
Somebody needs to put these people, all of these people, Chris Cuomo. We need to start putting them into the robes of the Inquisition. That's the way we need to start looking at these people, because these people, this.
You know, you're going to see the proverbial Agent Smith doctrine take place in this new Matrix administration. You're going to see people who you think is down with you because their color is melanated turn right into Agent Smith, because Americans are programmed to be programmable. They conform to the programs. Their systems are updating.
They're conforming right now.
Right now.
Right. To the Trump shit.
Like the Matrix. And it's important, especially nowadays, that stories like that are able to be told on a global scale, where people could be privy to the art of, or the power of transformation. Because what's taking place as a result of these, I would say, draconian, you know, mandates, laws, policies, these de facto, you know, operatives, they are taking away the value. They're removing the value. Look at yourself as a stock. Or we're not caught up in, if this person is not down with my speaker, teacher, leader, I don't like him. Stupid shit. Like you got choices. And they just look at it for what it is. Part of our gene pool. They showed you strength in adversity, right? It showed you that.
We was the original Olympians anyway.
There you go. So when you see that gene begin to wake up to the place where it's undeniable, okay, it couldn't be coincidence. It went beyond coincidence. All of the melanated Moabites, Moabitists, was snatching golds like this, right? That was something that is indicative of this gene that's waking up in us.
The God gene.
The fact that we're beginning to turn on and go online, and you have you're posing threats. These people study. These people are, you know, charting the stars and all of these other